Power players, if you want to join us, or I could email you the link. I think Kim comes to these. 8:30 Central. Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. Hey, Justin, good morning.
Hi, Vicki.
How's it
Good
going?
morning. I'm great. We just shuffled our
Good.
little guy off to his last day of first grade.
Oh, so sweet. He's so stinking cute. If he's not your twin, I swear. Poor Sarah,
Yeah,
she didn't get one that looked like her. You may have to try again so she can have a mini me because you are definitely his father.
I tried that, Vicki. He said no.
Sarah, put your foot down. Sarah
yeah,
needs
that'd have
a
to be a
girl that looks just like her. She would be so adorable.
yeah. We've heard that a few times.
I bet you have. I bet you have. Oh, Mark's out exercising this morning, getting it done. Good morning, Mark.
I am. Good morning, Vicki.
What are you
Are you
doing
doing
today?
okay? Biking.
Biking? Very nice.
Biking.
But still making it to this call. Is
I know.
that a dedicated agent or what?
Yep.
I'm gonna listen in. Yeah,
Good. Good. That's awesome. I love it. Proof that you can plug in no matter what you're doing. That's awesome.
that's right.
All right.
Let's give everybody just another minute or two, Vicki.
Yeah, of course.
Vicki, you can join even if you're sleeping. So, hi.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, you can still be in bed. Yeah, jammies, doesn't matter. For those of
She's
you
in
that
California.
Yeah,
Coffee in hand, bright and early here.
yeah, California even, golly. For those of you that are new to this call, this is a call that we do every Wednesday morning at 8:30 Central. We're talking about moving that to a little later in the morning for our California friends. I don't think anybody's been decided on that yet, has it, Justin?
No, I'm thinking if we keep it on Friday, like 11 or 12 Eastern, or even consider moving it to another day, an evening, having multiple meetings a week. I'm kind of open to what everybody wants and needs.
I love that. So drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. What would you like to see happen? Later in the day on Fridays, an evening call. And then, but just so you guys know, this is just a call where we come together and we mastermind. Sometimes we have guest speakers, but a lot of times it's just Justin, who's the Indiana state broker, myself, Tennessee state broker, and Mike Blake, Michigan, and Jill and Doug and a couple of others that come together every Friday morning and just mastermind and help agents be better agents. Help them with their struggles and and celebrate their wins, right? We love celebrating wins too. Justin always asks, who's got a win to share? So while we're waiting for some more people to pop in the room, does anybody have a win they want to share real quick? And then we're going to get started here in about 2 more minutes. Anybody got a big win?
Well, my big win is I'm actually getting ready to go on a vacation finally. So
Nice.
I am
That is a
excited to
win.
go to I'm excited to go to Florida. We're going to go on June 3rd to the 14th.
Where are you going? What part?
We have a condo in Bonita Springs,
Oh, that's
Southwest
right.
Florida.
That's right. Very nice. Good for you. That's awesome.
Long overdue.
Long overdue. I'm so sure of that. Who else has got a win they want to share this morning?
I'll share. I have 3 brief ones. I won't take all your time here. I'm new to Epique as of last weekend. Everything transferred over, set up, and I had launched my first listing with Epique last night. And I leave for vacation Sunday morning. So
It all happens at once, Chuck. It all happens at once. And what market are you in, Chuck? Where are you located?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. Okay, welcome. That's awesome. Now you guys got me wanting to take a vacation. Everybody's taking a vacation. Adrian, do
Well,
you have a win?
My win was getting Chuck to come to Epic. So
Yes, good job, Adrian. That's awesome.
working on transitioning back into doing some actual real estate work because I like had moved from Los Angeles to San Diego and haven't really used my license. But now since being involved with Epic, there's really no reason not to. So I got to get on more of these calls. So
Awesome. Love it. Okay, well, I'll keep an eye on the room. Justin, if you want to start the meeting, we'll get it going.
Yeah, so I'll just segue that into since the first time we met Chuck, we kind of hit it off immediately. He's full of energy, super nice guy, and we're just so excited that he chose Epic to land. He was kind of looking at some other options, but after a few conversations and showing him what we already know, Chuck just recently moved over. Like I said, Adrian introduced us to him. He's a real estate coach, coaches not only real estate, but just all aspects of life. LGBTQ Alliance Oklahoma president, as well as many other diversity boards he's involved with. And once you talk to him, you're going to see why we already love him so much. Is full of energy, full of excitement. And Chuck, we're happy to have you this morning and looking forward to learning from you a little bit. So thanks for taking time to be with us.
Hey, thank you so much, Justin. I have to give a big shout out to those that are on the Pacific time because it's 6:30, right? Am I correct? If I got my time zones
You are
right?
correct.
That's a commitment. That's a commitment. Thank you. Justin had asked me to kick things off this morning, and I really would like to bring a conversation to you guys and get you to think just a little bit. We are in an economy. We are in an election year. We are in some turmoil, or not. Hey, let me use a different word there. We are in some change and evolution within our own real estate industry. So there's a lot of distractions, and with distractions, well, just we get off track from maybe what we intended our path to look like this year, starting as we kicked it off in December or January of 2024. So I'd like to bring some reality back to you guys. And, you know, in life, we have those that see the cup half full. We have those that see it half empty. And sometimes maybe even those that just don't know. They see it differently at different times. And at times we can reach mid-year and we can go, I'm just going to keep doing what I've done. I'll get myself in gear next year. And then there are those others that are like, okay, many games are won in the last quarter, the last minute, sometimes last seconds of a game. And we're at mid-year. We have the whole second half. Okay. Also, you may be saying, Chuck, we're coming up on June 1st, not July 1st. Yes, I'm well aware. Yet what we do in June can become July closings. We cannot bank on what our activities for December, because in December has to be closings wrapping up the year that were generated in October, November, right? So I'm going to be speaking from June through the end of November. I want you to think in your mind, what is your goal? What's the number of units? Let's keep this very simple math. What's your number of units you still desire to complete for this year? I'll let you think on that just a minute. Don't overthink it. Everyone got their number? Drop that in the chat. Drop that number in the chat of what you still desire to close. Now, they can be in the pipeline, and they're going to be units that we're generating as well. Yet, what do you still desire to close by the end of the year? All right, I see a few dropping it in there. We learn, and there's a form of commitment when we engage and participate. So drop that number in the chat. Now I'm going to ask you to do some simple math. You can pull out your phones. You can scribe it on a notepad that you may have beside you. I am going to ask you to take your number of units that you still desire to complete by the end of the year and multiply that by 50. So if let me give you an example. If I said I desire 25 by the end of the year, and I multiply that by 50, I get 1,250. And you may think, well, what's that number? On the average, that's the number of conversations, interactions, whether that's face-to-face, over the phone, through text. It's two-way conversations, can even be through social media interactions, open houses, you be you, wherever you thrive and you excel and you're in the activities that bring you energy. That's the number of conversations between now and the end of November. Now, we're going to do some additional math. Let me give you some information here. I'm definitely speaking through a lens of inclusion here yet. So when I mention holidays, I'm going to mention the federally recognized holidays. And I know those may be different for different people as far as the holidays you partake in. So just give me some grace here. If we were having a one-on-one, we would definitely make this tailored to you. So what we're looking at from here forward, June 1st through the end of November, we have 4th of July. I'm going to give you one extra day because rarely do we just take the 4th of July. So we're going to call that a 2-day holiday. We have Labor Day. That's the first Monday in September. We have Veterans Day. Maybe you partake, maybe you don't. Yet sometimes that impacts our business because of title companies, banking, etc. Thanksgiving. Well, who just takes the Thursday of Thanksgiving? We also take Black Friday typically. Rarely are we right back at in the grind on that Friday. So that is 6 federally recognized holidays. I'm going to encourage you, always take your days off. As best you can, focus on 5 days a week working. 5 days a week. Not a little bit for 7. You got to have the you time, the family time, the recharge time. So we have 125 work days left till the end of November, from June 1st to the end of November. So take that number of conversations you need to have, divide it by my phone just clicked off. What did I say there? 125 work days. And that's the number of conversations, interactions, follow-up that you need to be having each day, each working day. Put that number in the chat. Justin says 30. Justin, is that you solely or as a team? Okay. Not doubting you at all. Yeah, just probing. So put that in the chat. I'm gonna read some of them. Let's see here. I see 5 conversations, 4.8. Well, we'll round that to 5, 6. What's your ahas here? Unmute yourself. Give me a couple shout outs of light bulb moments or ahas.
That's very manageable.
Manageable?
Very manageable number.
Yeah.
Makes me want to start a list. Makes me want to get out a pen and start a list of who I'm talking to next week.
Right?
Yeah, and realizing the number of days we have left. That's crazy to me. That's not as many numbers as we think it is at all.
And all rolled into there, you still have opportunity for life. I'm giving you 2 days a week. So if I can have a couple more minutes, we all go about generating business in different ways. Some of us are definitely more phone driven, maybe social media driven, technology driven, others face-to-face. When I really needed to kick my business in gear, I got my butt in gear and did open houses, as many open houses as I could, because when I can get face-to-face, I have a natural influence. I have a natural connection. I can find my people and it gives me energy. I'm going to give you an open house rundown because we've been in a market, and I'll start it around 2020, where if you did an open house, it was really for the 20, 30 offers you were receiving that day. I mean, it was just a glorified everyone seeing the property at one time. We are getting back in different price points, different geographic areas, the opportunity for open houses, and open houses helping us generate more than one sale of the subject property. I want to give you a rundown here, playing along this same idea. If you were highly committed and open houses were your one thing, you were doing them at the highest level, planning them, promoting them throughout the week. It was your one focus. I want to give you some numbers here. Let's say you chose to work 75% of the weekends. Let me say that in a different way. You get one full Saturday and Sunday off. Yet the other 3 weeks, you're taking your days off during the week. You're just simply showing up on the weekends for your open houses. So 75% of the weekends, that's 40 open houses. Now, again, you be you. Do them longer. Do Saturday and Sunday on the same property. So you're working smarter, not harder with your marketing, your promoting. Do a twilight open house and a happy hour open house, possibly on a Thursday evening, a Tuesday evening, whatever works, in your market. So let's say in those open houses, statistics show that out of ever about 4 or 5 groups we have through, we're going to connect with one. We're not meant to connect with everyone. That's not how we're wired. So let's say in your open houses, you connect with 2 people every open house. Let me go back. That was 20 open houses. So connecting with 2, that's 40 connections. There's a lot of fallout with our buyers. Life shows up, lack of finances show up, interest rates fluctuating, you name it. So let's say there's a 50% fallout. We still walk away with 20 closings, only focusing on open houses, 3 weekends, doubling down though, 3 weekends a month. Let's say out of each open house, we could create 1 more connection. Maybe we stay a little longer. Maybe we're just like really good at our scripts and our conversations and our intentionality. Just 1 more of every open house, still with a 50% fallout rate, we get 30 units. I mean, for many of us, we could achieve our goal by focusing on that one thing and not spreading ourselves thin and being a master of none.
And that's
what I have for you today. Just want to get you thinking. I want you to know your number because June 1st is next weekend. And that's when your activities must start, if not sooner. And if I'm invited to contribute again in future weeks, it won't be on next week because I'm going to be on the beach in Mexico. But in future weeks, I do have what are we seeing in our market? What's happening in the industry? Because when we know that, we know where to focus, to gather business, to create business. Sometimes if we keep doing what we've always done, we don't get the results because there's an evolution happening in our industry with the consumer. So Justin, that's what I have. I thank you and Vicki for letting me contribute, and everyone connect with me on social media. I love putting good energy out into the world for I receive it in return. And I'm just connect with me and let's create this epic family.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Man, no wonder they wanted you to come on board with us. You're amazing. Seriously, this is what I needed first thing today. Thank you.
It really puts in perspective because I lead a team here, and it's sometimes it's overwhelming for them to think about having to make phone calls and lead generate. And if you really think about it, Chuck and you and I talked a little bit about how people are busy but not really focused on money making activities. If you could just carve out 2 hours every morning, I mean, how easy would it be to talk to 5 people, honestly, to sell 30 homes by the end of the year or by the 1st of November? And I think we just get overwhelmed thinking about it, putting on the headset and sitting down and doing the follow-up when if we just did that for 2 hours every morning instead of getting caught up in other things, we could honestly achieve those goals.
100%. And, I mean, many of us do business generate and nurture relationships through social media. It's free, it's accessible. We're there anyway, typically. Yet we can, it can be a time sucker and waster as well. And so when you do get into these activities, it's very important that you do set a time, just a stopwatch. And I'm going to dive into this for 1 hour. When that 1 hour is over, I'm on with my day, or I'm on to the next, thing on my schedule. Don't get caught up in, well, it sucked for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm going to stop that activity. No, it's a marathon, not a sprint. In business in general, just stay consistent, stay engaged, and it definitely will happen for each of you.
I agree. I can't tell you how many times, Chuck, I've heard people say, well, I tried open houses and they just didn't work. It's like, oh, how many did you try? "Well, I did it for 2 weekends in a row and I didn't get anybody." Like, yeah, well, that doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just was 2 bad weekends, or you didn't strategize it right. You didn't pick the right property and the right price point. You didn't do the right planning and the right advertising and the right marketing. It's not that the open houses don't work. It's how you did your open house that maybe didn't work. Let's talk about it, right? But so many
Right.
times agents will try something briefly and decide for themselves that it doesn't work instead of really figuring out how to how to strategize. So
And one of the things, as humans is we dodge accountability. we also dodge when we hear the word tracking your numbers. But yet through activities, if you can't, just as Vicky was talking about, when agents will say, well, open houses don't work for me. Okay, let's dissect it. Let's start from the very beginning of it. How much time are you planning? What is, when are you doing this? When are you doing that? And you walk through the cycle. And as a coach and through a conversation, you're able to find that one little piece. It's not the 100% of it that doesn't work. It's one little piece typically. And when you can remedy that, then everything else, is smooth sailing from there. Same thing with social media, any type of business generating. When you say that doesn't work for me, or I'm not getting results from it, like, let's dissect it. Like, let's look at every little piece of what you're doing and maybe what you're not doing in that same activity.
in saying that, it makes me think about baking, right? If you're baking a cake and you get one ingredient off, a measurement off, your taste isn't, it's not going to taste good, right? It's got to be precise. And just with real estate, we have to have measurements. We have to have a recipe for success. You can't just wing it. I can't just go into my kitchen and pull out some flour and bake a cake, And so real estate's the same thing. Like, we have to have strategies. We have to have recipes. We have to have systems. We have to follow the success. Success leaves clues, guys. Chuck is saying it right here. And I love what you're sharing, Chuck. Thank you so much. I see a lot of people putting some things in the chat. Good stuff today. Jill, what you
Vicky,
got?
I would just say too on that, like, first of all, thank you, Chuck, for sharing. I would also add, we're a group of alpha style individuals. We're very high D driven people. And to take the moment when you say it doesn't work, if you can stop your mind from going to it doesn't work to a place of, I guess the best word I could use is humbling yourself to say, am I coming at this from a different place, or how do I find someone like Chuck or Vicky or Justin, to say, help me to understand how to do this better. And I always go back to the example when I first got into real estate. Mike asked, he was the person I talked to. He was like, do you want to join the team? And my response was, I've run multi-million-dollar companies. No, I don't need your help in doing this. I know how to run a business. I didn't stop to think about the fact I did not understand how to do real estate. I understand how to work in a corporate world and run 72 restaurants, but not how to sell one house. You know what I mean? So it was that moment. And in my first year, I sold 5 houses thinking I was a rock star. And a guy who was brand new joined Mike's team, sold 27. And that was my moment of humble, like, okay, step back. You might be really good at something else, and we think we can just translate those things. It doesn't always quite work that way. So, and I think for a lot of people, like we have a lot of newer agents who have had successful other careers. It's a hard to say, help, I just need a moment. Explain to me how I got there. So that's my 2 cents today.
That was 5 or 6 cents. That was really good, Jill.
Well, thanks.
Hey, Jill, that
Yes.
27 agent rock star, what did he do?
Because he had in reality, it was a lot of having the team around him. And we were at the time, we weren't in an organization like this where we had other people. So it was, I was at the time we were with Century 21. So he had the power of having the team helping him and coaching him and working through things where I went as a solo agent
Okay.
and was dependent upon, I remember the first time someone said to me, call 100 people. And I thought, where am I going to get the 100 names? I just moved back to Michigan. Like who am I calling? Where he had people, Connor had people, able to help coach him through. Get your mom's Christmas card list, get this, get, where I was thinking like, well, I don't know those people. But in turn, I really did, just no one was there helping me to figure that out. So I think things like this, joining masterminds and getting yourself there.
He had a lot of training, a lot of support,
Yeah.
and we have that at Epique for our solo agents.
Correct. Yes. So that's one of the reasons I love this, is because it doesn't matter if you're on a team or a solo agent, you now have the power of years and years of knowledge to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
David,
and now he's with Epique too. So.
Oh, good. David Cordova had his hand up a minute ago. David, you put it down, but is there something you wanted to share?
Well, I think I remember, but to your point is that, what Chuck you were saying is that, do you have the right plan? First of all, is it not working because you don't have the right plan? Are you not doing it right? Number one, or is it a combination of you're not taking enough action, or is it because you're not being consistent in the whole thing? And then if you're not, maybe it's just a matter of it's not enough time yet. If you have all those 3 things, but it's just not enough time, it'll work. If you have those 3 things of massive action, relentless consistency, and enough time, you're going to succeed. So that's the kind of same premise of what I know Rob Stein has been saying too, is that, if you have those 3 things, you're and the right plan, of course, and you're going to succeed. Just give it enough time. So, yeah.
And I think one thing that really helped me, and I think a lot of us might not have, is how important it is to have someone along with you cheering you on, whether it's a partner, another person on the team, a coach. A lot of us are probably just sitting around, by ourselves every morning trying to figure out where to generate leads and who to talk to, and not having that one-on-one accountability. I remember when I first started in real estate, I knew nothing. I was a roofer. I roofed houses. So when I walked in and started the first day, I had no clue what to do. I did notice that when I walked into my office, everybody had a headset on and they were making phone calls. So that's what I figured is what I had to learn how to do. But it was nice having, someone in your corner. Even I was at Keller Williams. Sarah and I hired a MAPS coach, so we had a coach that helped us grow our business. And, going back to Chuck's numbers, KW teaches you to talk to 20 new people every single day. And, that's probably shooting high. So you'll hit those 5 or 6. If you set out to talk to 20, then you could easily talk to 3 or 4 or 5. So I think a lot of those things are crucial to our growth and our business, is having, even if it's someone in a different state, like, hey, how many people did you talk to today? How many appointments did you set? Don't just go at it alone. Try to partner up with somebody, no matter where they're at. So that way you can cheer each other on and have that accountability.
I know I had a little bit of discouragement last night and a little bit this morning, but I was so glad that I'm on the call. So yeah, that encouragement and helping each other out and that positivity, it keeps you motivated, keeps you going. So thanks, guys.
And if I can add this too, when we talk about conversations, quality versus quantity. Okay, we can check boxes all day long. That doesn't mean we're going to get the results. So the whole purpose of the conversation is deepening relationships, staying in touch with people. I'm a firm believer you could have 25 to 50, only 25 to 50 contacts in your database. And you're interacting with them. Now, these have to be people that you really enjoy and they enjoy you. Yeah, you have your coffees, have your lunches, have your phone calls, interact with them on social media. Like any of us can, even if we are dual career, we have the bandwidth to focus on 25 to 50 people. And 25 to 50 units will come out of those 25 to 50 people in some form or fashion. And for many in our industry, that meets our goals. I mean, that's far more than half of the industry that might have 0 to 1 closings a year, you know, for one reason or another. I'm not bashing those. Everyone has their own goal, their own reason for keeping their license active. I mean, if you look at my production, I don't really have production because my focus has been on the training, coaching, and speaking side of things. So, you know, if someone was to judge me through my closings, they're going to be like, well, what does he know? He's only closing 4 to 6 units a year. Well, there's far more to me than that, but you know, and that's the other thing too, is the comparison. Don't, you know, Jill mentioned about the driven personality. There's a place in our industry for the introverts and the non-social as well, because there's activities you thrive on that can generate business as well. Also, I always call it like transferred credibility. We didn't wake up a newborn baby the day we got our real estate license. Our past wasn't erased from our credibility. So who were you in the past? What did other coworkers, friends, family say about you? What awards, accolades did you achieve? Those are still within you, and you're bringing it to this industry now. So use that as what I call transferred credibility. I could talk for 2 hours,
Really?
guys. I will mute myself now.
No,
I really like that, by the way.
It's really
Good
good.
morning. Good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, Blake, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, so I really love the idea, Chuck. I love the fact, well, transferability, because people know I had a big business in the past before we're getting sick. But long story short, what I really, really like was when you just talked about quality versus quantity. Which would you rather have? One really great past client, or would you have 100 internet leads? I would rather have the past client. And so often we reach out and try to get those 1,000 internet leads as opposed to just chasing the 5 past clients that almost guarantee they're going to find somebody for you over time, right? So it's like that was a very profound statement as I'm sitting here trying to think about how I'm going to build back all of my internet funnels and all this other stuff. Is like, I need to go back and continue talking with all my past clients, with my friends at the gym, you know, whatever. People kind of laugh here on this call. Like we've had some calls before where I said I started playing pickleball. Well, I've already picked up 6 or 7 clients from pickleball. So it's kind of like, it's like I saw some other people saying they weren't taking a break. Well, I was one of those people. I'm not taking any breaks. I'm working nonstop, blah, blah, blah. Started playing pickleball in 3 different clubs, probably picked up 2 or 3 in every club that I've been in by taking an hour a week to play pickleball. So anyway, just another thought there too. Quality, sitting, talking, getting to know people, right? So.
Well, and when you're
I'm taking a lot of notes, Chuck.
When you're lead generating on a high level, that it helps you sift through those leads that are going to waste your time and be a time suck to you. You're able to, I think about agents right now that are out showing, properties, and they're not writing up any deals because, maybe it's not a very serious buyer, or it's an investor looking for something unrealistic. And if you're constantly filling that pipeline and calling like when we did the formula, you're able to have enough people in the pipeline to where if it doesn't feel comfortable or a match with somebody, you can just move on. You don't have to stress about forcing a closing or forcing on a new client. You know, a lot of us feel like we just got to work with everybody because everybody might buy, you know, we hope so.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. I remember one time when I was thinking about goals, you know, where I wanted to be in my business. I wanted to be in the place where I could pick and choose my clients,
Yes.
because so many of us have to feel like we have to work with everybody. And it's not true. We can pick and choose our clients. And when we do that, there's so much freedom in that. We then own our business instead of someone else owning us, right?
Well, and in the internet lead world, you know, there's so many, you know, you're sifting through so many to try to find those few. On a positive note, I have heard a lot of success stories lately about people working the leads coming in through Epique across the US.
Yes.
So that's definitely encouraging. But yeah, I miss the days of going in every morning and being in the call center, but now we have to do it from home.
But you can do it on a Zoom call, right? Lots of teams do that. They all get on camera, they mute themselves, but then they're all like feeling each other's energy. They're seeing them having conversations. It makes them excited for somebody to pick up the phone so they can have a conversation.
Yeah, no, I always imagined what would it be like to have, you know, 200 people on a Zoom every morning, just making calls and sharing the like, hey, I just set an
In the
appointment.
chat box, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what, you know, I think that's what's really lacking in a virtual brokerage world is, you know, even though we're not all sitting in there together, there's ways we can do that, you know, and
Absolutely.
hold each other accountable.
I'm hearing another Zoom call being scheduled right now. Like we don't have enough Zooms in our life, but seriously though, that could be a very intentional Zoom call for the people who are there for that specific reason. And when you get a bunch of people that are intentional about their business coming together, big things can happen.
I
I think
actually
about-
just suggested that we met up with a few agents here in Arizona on Monday. And I had been seeing some teams do just that with the Zoom on the calling. And I've been lacking so much on my follow-up. Like I have so many leads in my CRM that I have not touched. And we were talking about that. And I'm like, let's get together on a Zoom and just do it. Like, let's just schedule an hour even. And in the chat, I think it's just more motivating to do it as a group. So I think we're going to start doing that with some ladies here. Could definitely probably open it up to anyone.
So you're saying we all just come on with our headsets on and mute and start calling and just have our whiteboards behind us and
So we're like this, right? Everybody's muted. We're all calling. And in the chat box, we're like set one appointment, had a great call. And then at the end, you know, at the end of the hour, then we all unmute and talk about what worked, what didn't work. And then we just kind of collaborate like that. And then we just do it.
Carmen, I would love for
Provide
you to create that as an event and put it in Epic Cloud.
Yeah.
Under events and have it open to you can do a recurring event so it shows up every week. You don't have to redo it every week.
Okay.
Do it as a weekly event and open it up. I would totally attend that if it didn't conflict with something else I have going on right now.
And that's going to be the hard thing because there are so many meetings and we're like on so many time zones, but I don't want that to stop, you know, anyone from starting it. So
yeah, you start it and then
I'll start one and then, you know,
Yeah.
we can see who comes on and, you know, we'll just go from there. I mean,
Fantastic.
I've seen it where it was only 2 people, then it was like 5 people. Right now, that team, I think there's 40 of them that log in because I see them post it in their stories all the time. And I'm like, wow, that's like awesome. I mean, I could always join that one. It's open to me too, but I'd rather do something here with you guys.
As I say, Carmen, I'm like, go back to the Field of Dreams reference, build it and they will come. Yeah,
That's right.
like you're right. It might start at 2 and 3 and 4. The other thing I think you could do with that too, instead of as a tally, utilize the whiteboard setting in Zoom because everyone can then put in hashtags, or you know what I mean? Like you can use the chat, but like you could set it so that the whiteboard's showing with everyone.
Oh, that is true because we have that now on Zoom.
Yeah.
Jill, I've never used that. I don't know how
Neither
that
have I.
works. I just did share screen. Would you show us all an example of what you're talking about?
Gotcha. Yep. So, okay. So actually, you stop sharing yours real quick.
I'm not
And
sharing
I'll
mine.
share.
Oh,
So
you know
when
what?
you
That's probably
pull up
me.
on your like when you hit the share button, you know how the box pops in the center, and it'll show you. Like for me, I have screen 1, screen 2.
Oh yeah,
There's
whiteboard.
one that says whiteboard. So then when you share that, oh, already open in meeting. Oh, so you've already got it. Yep. So then you would just literally start typing out like people's names, and then everyone who's in the chat can add things to the whiteboard.
Oh, so one person controls the whiteboard setting it up, but then people can add something to the
Can-
whiteboard.
Correct.
if
Yep.
I
So it's a
click
way
on-
for you to seamlessly collaborate together on it.
I see everybody's names popping up.
Yep.
How
Because
do you
anyone
add something
who's
to the
in,
whiteboard?
yep, if you're going through the whiteboard, you'll see people's names. It's following their cursor. So can you see me scribbling?
Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
see you scribbling.
now.
So someone put in made 2 calls. You know, you can put in a whole bunch of different things. See, again, now everyone's figured out how to use a whiteboard there.
Oh, and there's a text box.
There's a
you can
text
use
box,
the
yeah.
box. On your left-hand side, there should be a like a control panel for you of what you want to put. If you want to make shapes, you want to type, you want to set it with a frame, a grid, whatever you want. But that's how easy it is to use a whiteboard. You can actually set the whiteboard in advance. You know, like if you are the person starting the Zoom, so you jump in 10 minutes early, put in the whiteboard what you want, so everyone can follow along.
This is giving me some major anxiety.
You're like, so there you go. So that's the whiteboard.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
So see,
Oh yeah, see, Mindy made 2 calls.
yep,
All right,
exactly.
who keeps making blocks over my Jill is awesome?
That was me.
You are welcome.
Okay, yeah, this is cool. So I'll
I'm like
go ahead and
always
set
with
that up.
my, like, if it's Google or it's Zoom, I got you.
Joe, you're brilliant.
So
This
that's
is great. This is a really great idea to do this instead of people putting it in the chat. And then so somebody could set it up really organized, and yeah, I love it. That's awesome. Okay. Fantastic. So Carmen, you're gonna let us know when you have created this meeting, right?
Okay, yeah. No, I'll go in there and create it.
Awesome.
as I say, and then Carmen, it's you've got the whiteboard, Carmen. So if you wanna,
Oh, okay.
So is this meeting recorded? And is there a
I don't
place
think
to-
I heard. I don't
Yes,
think I
it's
seen that it was.
recording.
Oh, it
Is it
is
really?
recorded. Yeah.
and a place I can go find it, show it to people? It'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing, participant sharing. There we go. Let's get rid of that whiteboard. It's making me dizzy.
I know.
That was really
It's a lot.
good
Like when
stuff.
everyone starts going, you're like, but you know, I mean, like if everyone's making calls, now you just see someone pop up on the whiteboard. Now I could throw in the chat, like, great job, you're doing great, like keep at it, whatever it
going.
might be. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for sharing that, Jill. And
Happy
thank you,
to.
Carmen, for taking lead on that and running with it. That's exciting.
Yep. Let's do it, guys.
Let's do it. All right. Who else wants to share something? Maybe a win or something new that they're doing or something that they're struggling with and they need some masterminding around, some help around. Just come off mute and say whatever you want to say. Or if this call has given you a new idea today.
So one thing I will add on, like from my end, because I know we have a bunch of people who like to age and attract. Remember that this weekend, most of your boards will be closed on Monday, also for the holiday. I just sent to all of our area leaders here in Michigan, please do not transfer licenses today. People will be stuck in purgatory for 4 days and there's nothing I can do to help them. So for all of you people who do agent attraction, just make sure the people you're talking with are planning accordingly. So
Good advice, Jill. Purgatory. We don't want anyone in purgatory.
right, I'm like, listen, because I'm the girl who gets called then. Like, I need a showing. And I'm like, I can't get your license. I can't do anything. So
Yeah. Yeah. This has been a really good call. I can't believe how fast it's gone by. It's already 9:15 almost. We got 15 minutes left.
I have a question.
Hey, Ashley, good morning.
Hey, good morning. When the whiteboard was up, I didn't ever see my names, and I clicked on it several times. I guess I missed how to do that.
Jill, you're muted, but Jill,
Sorry.
can you help?
Yep. So you won't see your own name. You're seeing just your cursor is what you're watching for.
Okay.
So yeah, you're seeing everyone else's cursor actually moving. So on the left-hand side, there should have been like for the boxes and everything where you could type, or if you just left clicked your mouse, it would make the squiggly line or pretend to try and write with it.
Jill, go ahead and pull
Okay.
up your whiteboard and let Ashley try it real quick. Make sure
Sure.
make sure she understands what she's looking for here.
Let me see.
I kept seeing things all over the place. I didn't see anything on the left that said text. I was watching on the.
Gotcha. So, is mine showing? Yeah, now all of a sudden I see 20 people following. So it should be Ashley. Can you see my name up here, top left corner?
No.
Are you seeing?
Now we can, Jill.
Okay,
We
I
can see
can
your
see
name.
the
your
line
follow
there.
the left.
So right where my name is moving down to, this should be where you would have a bar of things, and I can create shapes off of here. But there should be and the other option is select V on it if I want to.
Oh, I just did that.
Ashley
red.
just drew on there. Ashley, I see you drawing.
You're getting there. You got it now. All right. I'm closing the whiteboard on everyone there.
Good job, Ashley.
That's right. Ashley, you get a red gold star there for the day. You found it.
Thank you.
David, what you got?
More of a question for everyone and Chuck as well, but we talk about quality and versus quantity, and I'm a big believer in that. One of my struggles is trying to cut the conversation off, but not in a polite way. Like, I mean, I could talk all day, and I really do enjoy reconnecting with others and sharing that deep connection and relationship. But I know that the more I'm talking with them, I mean, it could extend to an hour or so with a single contact. And I want to continue, but I also know that I'm limited. I got other calls that I should be making or I need to be making. And any advice or suggestions on trying to, keep it time sensitive, I guess, from that perspective, like I said, in a polite way.
Chuck, that question is directed at you, my friend, and you're muted. So come on off mute. There you go.
David, I would suggest, like, read the room, read the person you're talking to. If it's your tendency to be talkative, what's their tendency? Like, mirror them, the time they have to commit, and just like match their rate of speed, so to speak. Now, when you know your people, you may know someone else, like someone that you're reaching out to, you may know it's going to be an hour when you get them on the phone. So schedule accordingly, put them on a morning that you have that time. Same thing if they were an active client, and we still have it pop up every once in a while that someone's not tech driven. They may still want to do wet signatures. And if you know that interactions with them is going to take more time, then schedule, accordingly. I think for myself, because I can be talkative, if I have in my head like on a given month, what's the theme of my calls? What's the 1 or 2 pieces I want to achieve in the conversation, and do my best to limit myself to those 2 items, but yet be in tune with the conversation so that, you know, I allow them to lead as well. I had not heard this until 2020 when I began my journey with the locker room with this coaching company. And Jake, our owner, said, you know, we always have heard those asking the questions are in control of the conversation or leading the conversation. However, the one that's doing the most talking is doing the most bonding. Let me say it again. The one that's doing the most talking is doing the most bonding. So in our conversations, the goal is to let them do more talking so that they're connecting and bonding with you. If you ever leave a conversation, and I've done it, I'm quite guilty of this. I get in the car and go, man, that was awesome. That was an awesome lunch. I really feel connected to them. I was probably doing more talking than I should have been.
I've heard that before, Chuck. You're right. You're right. They say that when people feel like they had a really great connection or really great conversations because they did most of the talking.
And it's probably the reasoning behind asking all the why questions to your prospects. You know, the why 4 bedrooms? Why do you need a basement? Why Center Grove schools? Trying to get them to talk and go on and feel comfortable. Always trying to do the three whys deep on every phone call.
3 whys deep. Get 3 whys deep with them. Love it. Love it. David, was that helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally guilty. I was at a breakfast networking yesterday, actually, and I just a lot of new people that I hadn't met before, and I left. I met a lot of people, thought it was great, everything else. Wanted to do some follow up with them, and then I got in my car. I called my wife, and I says, I gotta keep my mouth shut sometimes. So I just like totally guilty of it. Yeah.
But David, with that, you connected to some people there in that moment. So now it's the opportunity to allow them to connect with you, because if you wouldn't have cast that net to figure out who you even had interest in knowing more about or having more conversation with, it would have kind of been just an uneventful breakfast, you know, or meetup. So now go back to those that you connected with and give them time to connect with you.
Yeah, for those of
I'd
you,
also-
speaking of, I'm sorry, Blake, go ahead.
No, please, you go ahead.
Speaking of networking meetings, that's another thing where I've heard agents say in the past, oh, I've tried some networking meetings and they didn't really work. I never got any leads. I never got any business from them. And I'm like, well, then you may not have been doing it right. So for those of you that have wanted to try networking meetings or have tried it before and thought that they didn't work, it's really important that you, my opinion is when you go to a networking meeting, that you're looking for people you can help. You learn about them and their business, and then you try to look through your network of people and say, how can I connect someone to Jill? Jill's a chiropractor. Who do I know that's been complaining about having a bad back? You know, you really think about how you can connect your people to the people you meet at the business networking groups. Wow. And the more people you connect with them, the more they're going to want to reciprocate and connect people with you. But if you go at these meetings with who could give me business? I want them to all know how great of a realtor I am. I want them to know that I service their county, that I know their market, that I know the interest rates, that I'm the best at negotiating deals. And you go with a me perspective, you're not going to get anything out of it. Why? Because everybody knows a dozen or more realtors. You're just another person with a real estate license, right? And if they've known someone else longer than you and they've have a deeper connection than they do with you, they're going to refer their business to that person. But is that person giving them business? Is that person sending them to their office, making their phone ring? Probably not. So that's your upper hand right there, guys. So
yeah, there's a big thing about givers gain.
So
it's, you know, you want to be of service to someone and it will be reciprocal. But if you're in the mindset of like, oh, I need them
how's
to
it going,
help me
Cameron?
right now, then that's, you know, it is different. Vicky. I 100% agree. It's like, how can I help them, not how can they help me? Because once I help them, they will want to, you know, pay it forward and help me in my business. Because you're right, their partner might not be sending them anything and then just sitting there wanting to receive things from them. We don't know
Right.
what that relationship looked like.
Right. Be a go-giver. Speaking of the
Yep.
book, if anybody's ever read that book, The Go-Giver.
Yeah, giver's gain. I live by that. So
That's right. David, what you got?
No, I was going to say that like yesterday at this breakfast too. I mean, it was a alumni networking breakfast, and different business leaders or different, you know, people looking for business, or in fact, there was two students who just recently graduated, so they were looking for work. And I was like, first of all, I was just telling them congratulations on graduating, and also this is your great first step of networking. Like, tell me what you're looking for, what's your degree in, what you're looking for, because it might not be here, but I'm going to keep my eyes open and or ears open for, you know, whatever that you're looking for. And then likewise with other business leaders, so, or business people that were in the room looking for business or whatever the case may be. They know that I was a realtor, but they also know there's some other things that I can provide help with outside of real estate, you know, whether it's like interview training or whatever. And in fact, there was a person who he was on the other side of the table when we were doing our introductions, and at the end of the thing, he just got engaged. And so he reached out to me and says, hey, you know, I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about it. I don't think we're ready yet, maybe in a couple of years. And I said, okay, well, yeah, let's keep in touch and whatnot. So there was a guy in a commercial building, and he owns his own company. And he was struggling to downsize his office. He was looking for different space, and he was having some trouble. He asked me, do you do commercial? I was like, well, not all the time, but I can, let's talk about what you're struggling with. So I got to follow up with him as well. So yeah, just kind of just cast that wide net, like you said, and, you know, things just kind of offer up your services, whatever they might be. Even if you know a friend that, I need someone to help me with a bathroom project or whatever. Oh, I got a contractor that you might get in touch with, or I can help you with that as well. So yeah,
Absolutely.
just having that kind of attraction. So
be a great resource to people. 100%. Show your value. Absolutely. I know
Vicky, I
Blake
would
wanted
also
to say
say
something, but he
reminding
left.
people that when you network, you know, you're going to the chambers, you're going to, you know, out into the community. A lot of times that can take anywhere from, you know, 8 to 12 months before you see that return. Yeah, and so it is because you're not seeing these people every day. You might only see them once a month. Yeah, and so you're not going to see that return unless you're the one reaching out and, like you were saying, pushing people towards them. Tell them I sent you, so that when now Susie shows up and calls Vicky and says, Jill told me to call you. Now all of a sudden Vicky and I can have a connection some other way, instead of that like once a month networking thing that you go to.
One of
'Cause
my
that's it.
favorite networking groups I was ever a part of was down in Florida when I was working there, and they had a point system, which I thought was fun. So you would get so many points if you met one-on-one for coffee outside of the
Yes.
networking group. You got so many points for giving someone a referral. You got so many points for just having a warm connection, even if it didn't lead to business. But then if it led to business, you got a lot of points. And so it was kind of fun to see your points grow and know that it was working, even if it was just 5 points for a coffee date, 10 points for this, whatever. So it was a point system, and it was a lot of fun. I think if you go there with the intention of giving business, that you're going to get massive results. And that's the whole point of it. And so many people, unfortunately, go for the purpose of trying to get business. And they feel disappointed in the group. The group's letting me down. The group's letting me down. They're not giving me any business. Right? Have you ever heard that, Jill? Hey,
Yeah.
people let me down.
All the
For
time.
a year. They've never given me any business.
Right. Yeah. I've gotten nothing from this. And
Yeah.
but yet in turn, when, you know, and I'll tell anyone, my response every time I go to our chamber, we do what's called a coffee talk. So once a month, you go, you have a 2-minute elevator pitch of what you're asking for other people from the chamber for.
Mhm.
I know there's a realtor at every one of the 15 tables. So at my table, because I'm usually one of the people who heads it, my response is, Exactly that. I know you know an agent. I would love to say buy and sell real estate with me. But I get it. You've got a friend. So what I'm going to ask is when that friend comes to you and tells you that they are struggling, they have reached a plateau at the brokerage they're with, they don't know what they're going to do, ask them to give me a call and just talk to me. Like, I'm not saying they need to join my brokerage, but sometimes you just need someone outside the box to help you see which way you need to go. And I can't tell you how many people I've had call me. And one, it works in a couple different ways. One, I start telling them about Epique, but more than that, I've just met another agent that when I put a deal in front of them, I'm coming from a place of giving to them. And they're gonna say, this is an agent you want to work with. So it's always that's my elevator pitch every time to them. So
Blake Smith, give us a final thought and we'll wrap up.
Yeah, he tried to get us out of there earlier.
Hey guys, hi there.
Hey,
Sorry, I'm dealing with one of our good vendors here, like one of our best partners. He's actually at my own house today, replacing an air conditioning unit. But anyway, couple of things. Let me see. I'm so sorry. I've been running in and out today. So buyer, I was going to talk. So you were saying, Vicky, a lot of profound stuff. I loved it. I think at the point of the buyer consultation, and sales, listings and things like that. One of the things I was going to say when we were at that point is yeah, it's about, the next answer. And I had to learn at one point to stop telling myself telling the client the next answer. Like Justin was saying, I got a whole list of questions that I ask. And I used to fire through them and ask the question. And before you answer, I know the next 3 things you're going to ask. So let me answer those. You got to let them ask. You got to let them feel like they're controlling the situation a little bit. They feel more vested. That's when they bond with you. That's when you can get a 3% plus exclusive buyer contract signed at the end of your conversation 100% of the time. Which, by the way, I mentioned in last week's meeting, our office had about whatever it was, $9,000 in extra compliance fees and buyer fees. I think this week was another 12,000. Meaning they signed a buyer agreement at 3%. The listing was offering 2 or 2.5 and minus 500. And they were able to get that minus 500 and that 0.5% back from the buyer side. So everyone's complaining that NAR is terrible. Hey, this whole situation is terrible. I'm seeing where buyer agents are actually making more. So stay positive, stay out there. I know I had more kind of in the middle of a project, but thank you guys. And Chuck, I really look forward to meeting you, talking to you, hearing more from you. I learned, that was awesome.
that was really a great call today, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys.
No,
And if there's a recording, I'd love to share it with a few agents I have in mind.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you all.
That's it.
Those of you that choose to spend an hour with us every Friday morning, we appreciate it. We thank you for taking time out and masterminding with us. And Chuck, thank you for jumping in front of 30 new strangers and just being, energetic and excited. And we look forward to working with you in the future. And obviously we all have an open door. Anybody reach out to Chuck, to Jill, Vicky, Blake. If you need help, we're all here to help throughout the week, not just Friday mornings. So Vicky,
I do want to add one thing real
anytime.
quick is I do record these calls every Friday. And then my intention is to go in there and take out little 5-minute snippets and put them in our group. Well, I haven't been doing that. Guys, to be honest, I'm a little busy. So what I think I'm going to do instead is just download the whole video to YouTube, get the whole hour, and then just drop the YouTube links in there. Because I can't upload an hour video into Agent Portal. It's too big. But I can upload a YouTube link. So that takes me 30 minutes to do. What I was doing before, it would take me about 3 hours. So I'll be popping a bunch of videos in there in the next couple of days. And you guys will just have to go through there and fast forward, rewind, and catch what you want to catch. But the YouTube videos are going to be posted this weekend. So
Great. Thank you so much, Vicky.
Yeah.
Where will you post those? Sorry.
We have
in
a group
the group.
in Agent Portal under groups. Look for Power Players.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vicky.
Yeah.
For some reason, you're not a member already. It's a closed
Request
group.
to join.
Believe me, I'm working with Josh to try and make the group, our whole system. If you started as a closed group, you enter one person, like I put Vicky on to be like, so we could set things up, but because I added her in as a closed group, it will not let you make it a public group now. So Josh is working with the developers to fix that. So if something happens, you're not in the group, or someone you know wants to join, request it. Everyone's in. I don't say no.
Yeah, no,
Power
yeah.
players.
None of us say no. We're all good with saying, yes, I can't make it a public group. I tried. Even Josh tried. He was like, why doesn't that work? I'm like, you made the system, man.
Hey, Jill, I did have one person tell me she tried to join and she couldn't get in, or she's waiting to get in.
Okay.
Laura. So if you don't mind, I
I'll
don't
go
think
in
I
and
can-
grab everyone right now on my phone.
Oh, I could actually do it. Oh, I didn't know I
you
had the
should be able to.
ability. Well, hell, I'm letting in about 30 people right now, y'all. That's awesome. Well, okay, I exaggerated. It was 7, but those 7 are in now. There's no more penny requests.
Like, it wasn't that far behind, Vicky. I promise.
Yeah. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, have a great weekend, everybody.
Happy
Thanks,
Memorial
Chuck.
Day.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great
Bye.
holiday. Thank you.